Whether you need new appliances for your kitchen, laundry room, or outdoor cooking space, family owned and operated Mountain High Appliance has you covered. I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. As Colorado's #1 choice for appliances for the past 30 years, we offer professional delivery and installation and state-of-the-art showrooms where you can try before you buy. Plus, you're guaranteed the best price with our price match guarantee. When you think appliances, think Mountain High Appliance.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
At Canvas Credit Union, brighter banking is always within reach. Imagine easy rewards at your fingertips and control in the palm of your hand. Convenience around the corner and impact right here in Colorado. A dedicated team by your side. And your next big thing, starting college, buying a house, or kicking off a long-awaited getaway, closer than you think. That's Canvas. That's brighter banking.
Today's guests are Janae and Kay. They're going to be talking about their new book called I Should Have Known by the Way You Kissed Me. So Janae is a poet, a communicator, a gerontologist. And we have Kay. She's a singer, songwriter, a poet. She uses her voice to tell stories and they're rooted in real life experiences. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
having
You.
You're very welcome. Do you guys want to just introduce yourself? Just tell the audience a little bit more about you.
Sure.
I'm 27. I'm currently studying social work in school, singer, songwriter, all of the little things.
I'm Janae. I am getting my PhD in communication studies in school right now in Georgia. I enjoy singing, writing, going on walks, traveling, just trying new things.
So you linked up recently, and what inspired the book?
So the book is called I Should Have Known by the Way You Kissed Me, and it's due to come out early 2026. It started as we reconnected because we have been friends in the past, and then we recently reconnected. And I've been big into poetry since probably 2020. And so I know Kay writes poetry and music. And so I was like, we should write a book. It was originally about sex and sexuality. These are topics that I've never really had an opportunity to explore in my writing and poetry. And so I really wanted to push myself and challenge myself in that way. I really wanted to do it with Kay because we just really work well together and bounce well off of one another. And after we got started, I was just, okay, let's expand this and make this about relationships in general. And that lust is a part of that, but also there's love, longing, and loss. And so those are the 4 sections of the book: lust, longing, loss, and love.
Lust, longing, lost, and love.
Mhm.
Okay. Was this a collaboration where you write the chapters together, or are you going back and forth with your experiences?
So basically, what we did is we just had the 4 sections, and whenever we came up with something that fit into the section, hey, look, I wrote this. What do you think about this? And just piggybacked off of each other that way.
Yeah. So these are some serious titles: the headers, love, longing, lust, loss. Why did you choose those 4?
I think we knew we wanted 4 sections. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember exactly how we came upon these words, but I know there was a lot of back and forth about, okay, how many sections do we want to have? What do we want to talk about? And we wanted them to all have the same starting letter. And of course, there's kind of love, there's heartbreak. Heartbreak translates to like loss. And then we had already, of course, started the book with talking about sex, so lust. And then there's like this other kind of feeling that can go in different spaces of, oh, you miss somebody, or you want to be with this person, or you met this person and you really like them. And so like you're thinking about them. So different kind of longing feelings. And so I think just a lot of back and forth conversation and finally settling on those 4. Am I right, Kay?
That sounds about right to me. Yeah, I think it started with lust. And then as we started to shape some of these other poems, before we decided on the names of the section, yeah, we decided we're going to have 4 and started to just write. And before we got into a category, I'm like, all right, we got love, we got lust. And just the love and the lust, I'm like, let's think of some other L words. And that's how it came to be.
Yeah. So am I remembering correctly that Kay, you were first wanting to write about sexuality?
Me.
Oh, you were wanting to. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you pulled in Kay because you knew that she could help, you spark those good ideas and you guys work well together. You both write. You said you had to become comfortable with writing that kind of stuff, but it was your idea, Janae.
Yeah, so I wasn't really planning to do another book at the time because I've written a couple others and I knew I was going into school. But I was like, oh, I want to start writing about this more and more. And I was writing about it. And then I was kind of like, oh, we should write a book together. And we do a lot of creative projects together. We working on music together. So it just made sense. I had been already floating some of my work her way of things that I was writing. I'm like, I'm exploring this, trying to figure it out, trying to get comfortable with it. And she was giving me feedback and we would just exchange writing. And then I was like, oh, we should make this a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it? Is this from experience? This topic? I should have known by the way you kissed me.
I have to be honest, I have no idea where the title came from. I think we were just throwing stuff out there, and that's kinda what stuck.
All right. Yeah. So you're just throwing the titles out and you're like, that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I feel like, I guess with the title of I Should Have Known by the Way You Kissed Me could fit everything. Like, I should have known by the way you kissed me that this would end in heartbreak. So I feel like it can fit with every section. And I don't know. I feel like it's a catchy, like somebody will read it and be like, oh, I should have known by the way you kissed me. Like, what's it about? And it's about all these different aspects of a relationship. And I think sometimes when you're kissing people, like you get a feeling of, oh, like this person could be the one, or there are sparks, so I'm not feeling anything with this person, or this is dangerous. So you get all these kind of emotions or things that come out of that. So yeah, I think it was fitting and that we did go through kind of some iterations, but landed on this one.
Okay. Why did you think that it was important for you guys to write the book on these topics?
I think that's a great question. I think that there's just some things that everybody experiences, things that everybody can relate to, and it's just a way for us to put our perspective out there, our feelings, our art out there.
Yeah. So I'm also thinking, how much of this is from your personal experience and what you've observed in the world?
I would say most of it is personal, and then some of it may be like observed or on the outside looking in kind of thing. Yeah, I think again, just as we were going through it, is a way to explore these topics, a way to heal from certain things, a way to talk about relationships as we know them and have seen them and have experienced them. We've been through a lot. We talk a lot about our relationships and the things that we've been through, and we've been through a lot of different things in our own relationships. For me, a big one was like domestic violence and dealing with that, talking about that. So healing from that and the loss section and like opening myself up to love and all of these different feelings of what comes with that. And so just reflecting on the past, but also looking toward the future and just being open to all of the things. So I would say a lot of personal experience in there.
Yeah. Do you agree, Kay?
Yeah, I agree. For at least for what I've written, most of it is my personal experience, different things that I've went through myself.
How difficult was it, or freeing even? Maybe the opposite, was it to write from that point?
With me specifically, it was freeing to a certain extent, being able to finally release whatever feelings that you might not have been able to sit down and talk to somebody about, or things that you're carrying with you. But in the same breath, for me, it was a kind of a struggle where you want to give, but you don't want to give too much, if that makes sense. I struggle with vulnerability. That's a me thing.
Have you figured out why that was so uncomfortable for you to be vulnerable?
Something that I say often is vulnerability to me. I feel like I'm just stepping in front of a room naked. And I don't think most people would feel comfortable doing that. It's always been a little bit uncomfortable for me.
And so you said most people. So, Janae, do you have a hard time being vulnerable with people and with yourself?
I think for me, sometimes I feel like I'm being vulnerable and people tell me that I'm not. So I think maybe mine is like a perspective thing. It may just be a thing of perspective as it relates to like, am I actually being vulnerable and opening myself up? Sometimes I feel like I'm too vulnerable, like the opposite of Kay, and I have to rein myself in. Or like I know there was something, I wrote like I guess it was more like a short story, but I wrote it and I was like, this feels really vulnerable. I don't know how I feel about putting this in the book and like people are reading this about me. So I think that, I guess in a sense, maybe a part of me was, oh, oof, this is a lot. And then other times I feel like I'm very much an open book. I think my little zodiac thing the other day told me like, don't be too open, leave them wanting more kind of thing. And I was like, no, but I want to be open. So I don't know. I can be both. It really depends.
Yeah. So it's tricky for you. Like you said, you feel like you're vulnerable, but people are like, you're really not. You're on the surface here. But you, yeah, you're not like actively trying to hold back. But with Kay, it's more, this has been your life. Your whole life has been based on leaving things in, I think, not really putting yourself out
Yeah.
there. Okay. All right. So do you guys have similar or shared experiences from your personal relationships that you wrote about in the book? Things that maybe that you feel is something that most people go through that you guys also experienced?
I guess I would say all of it
Okay.
because we're talking about pretty, I guess I feel like emotions that people experience a lot: heartbreak, love, falling in love, missing somebody, wanting to be near them, wanting to touch them and know what, it's like with them in an intimate way. And then breaking up with the person and missing them, being angry or being hurt, or even all the things in between that. Cause you end up with people and they're not who you think they are. You end up with people and just everything's great, but then like things come to an end for whatever reason. So I think there are lots of relatable feelings and emotions that I think it does feel like a collective thing. Like I know that I'm not the only one who's experienced these things. Maybe I've experienced them differently, but I think everyone can find something to relate to in here.
What is something that you guys discovered about yourself through writing this book?
That's a good one, Kate.
About myself. I think that's a good question.
I guess about myself, what have I discovered? I don't know if this is necessarily a discovery, but writing love poems is really hard. I told Kay that a lot throughout the book. I was like, love week, because I would do weeks and I would spend a week on one topic and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, love week is really difficult for me. Writing about loss, fine, I could do that. Writing about lust, okay, I could do that. Writing about longing, I could do that. But writing about love was really hard for me. And I think that I was just like, yo, I need to like understand that a little bit more, understand why that's hard for me, understand why that was just difficult for me. And then I think the other thing is just really, like I mentioned, of the first time maybe that I felt really, this is like super vulnerable. Should I like put this out there? Because again, like I feel like I try to be open, or that I don't necessarily keep parts of myself hidden. And so in
Mhm.
writing and being like, "Oh, should I put this in the book?" This is, I don't know, was a first for me. So a lot of firsts, like writing with another person, writing a body of work with another person. So a lot of like new things and discoveries about myself. Yes.
So really how it made you feel is what you noticed for the first time, is how thinking about those things and the thought of putting it out there, how it really made you feel about doing it.
Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
different. I just feel like this body of work is different from anything that I've done in a lot of ways. And it is very vulnerable and it is very like, I feel more exposed, I would say.
I think I discovered, how can I put this? Throughout the process of writing the book, I feel I had to discover I'm not really good about taking the back seat and letting other people steer. And Janae, this is her realm. This is something that she's done before. And stepping back and trusting her to be like, all right, we have to do this. We have to set this deadline. We have to edit by this date. We have to do X, Y, and Z. Initially felt a little uncomfortable, but I think throughout the process, I've gotten more comfortable stepping back and letting somebody else take the lead.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
would probably tell you that I'm a tough cookie too. I'm very like on the schedule.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but it helped you grow.
Yeah, put me in a position where it's like, I don't want to say take orders. It's not like she's a dictator or anything, but being able to hear, even as far as like constructive criticism, that's something I feel like she's really good about giving. And with the first few poems where she would be like, okay, maybe you should put some more detail here, or maybe you should reword this that way. Just different things like that. Learning how to receive that and understand it's not coming from a place with malicious intent or anything. Cares about this product. We care about this product. And it's just the end goal is to put out something great.
Okay. So what's something that you guys can tell me that you feel like I could benefit from or that our audience can benefit from in your book? What's like a foundational concept or something that's a teaching moment.
I think it's important to recognize your feelings and being okay with sitting in whatever that feeling is, owning whatever that feeling is. I think loss is a tricky feeling in any capacity. And that's something that if you live long enough, you're going to experience it. And that's just reality. Everybody's experienced loss in some capacity. I would hope everybody's experienced love. And I think that the body of work just shows we have to feel the things. We have to feel everything.
Yeah, I really like that. And I would agree with that. I guess I would also say that kind of like similar to what we were talking about earlier, people aren't alone in these feelings. I feel like it's very relatable and it's a way to know, hey, other people have experienced these things and to not feel like shame or
Mm.
sadness around it or regret about things, but it really is just about embracing every aspect of life and embracing different parts of ourselves and our identities. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I feel like these are like little teasers. Yeah. So embracing who you are, embracing every aspect of life, coming into your own.
At Canvas Credit Union, brighter banking is always within reach. Imagine easy rewards at your fingertips and control in the palm of your hand. Convenience around the corner and impact right here in Colorado. A dedicated team by your side. And your next big thing, starting college, buying a house, or kicking off a long-awaited getaway, closer than you think. That's Canvas. That's brighter banking.
Identity, accepting your identity, and also being aware that loss is inevitable and it's a difficult emotion that you're going to need to start being okay with feeling.
Yeah.
So you feel like that's what people do a lot is they try to push the feeling of loss aside. They don't really feel that. Is that what you've learned?
I don't want to generalize people, but I feel like from my experience, a lot of people struggle with any negative emotion, not just limited to loss, but anger. That's another topic. That's not necessarily one of the headers in the book, but that's a topic that's discussed in the book. And I think, again, that's a challenging emotion to navigate in a healthy way.
Yeah, in a healthy way, especially in relationships.
Yeah.
So I want to see about your individual experiences. This is a book together, but you also have individual experiences. Like Janae, you said yours is abuse, right?
Yeah.
You mean abuse in a relationship, right?
Emotional, physical, just very toxic relationship. And I talked about that in a previous body of work a lot more, but there are still hints of that here and like poems that kind of speak to that. As healing is just, it's not linear and things come up. You think you're healed from something and you're not, or something triggers you. And so, though I've healed from a lot of that, and writing that last body of work definitely helped me to process all of that, there are still things that come up.
Yeah. So it's still a lifelong healing journey.
Right.
What was your biggest thing in writing this book?
My biggest thing in writing this book, I think I thrived in the lust section, not to lighten the takeaway from what Jazz was saying. But yeah, with the loss and with the negative emotions, I think it's a difficult space to navigate. And with me struggling with vulnerability, I did touch on some domestic violence situations that I've experienced and different things that I've experienced in a closing relationship. But it was a struggle for me opening myself up like that. And I feel like I thrived in the lighter emotions. I think it was just easier to say, all right, let's put the sad stuff in the back burner. And yeah, that's just me.
So you have this really cool dynamic of the inverse. You have love on this side, which is usually domestic violence. It's rooted in what feels like love, intense love. It's why you allow yourself to be there. It's how you got there. And then you have Kay saying, I'm just going to say on the lust side of it, which is almost the opposite. So what have you guys discovered about the difference between love and lust?
The difference between love and lust. I guess either one could exist without the other one. So that doesn't work where I was going. But I think that you could lust for somebody and still love them too. Like you have these romantic feelings, but also, oh, like my partner is like really hot. And so there's this element of, oh, I love them. And like I feel these feelings in my heart for them and all these emotions. But also there's like this physical attraction. And I think probably most people try to get that aspect of it. Like they want both. I think a lot of times though, when you're purely lusting after somebody, it's more of, oh, I want to be intimate with this person. I don't necessarily want a relationship, or it could look a lot of different ways. It could be friends with benefits. It could be like a one night stand. It could be you're just fantasizing about a person. I think lust can look so many different ways. And so, yeah, that would be my take. Like, I think love is really about that emotion, that feeling, that attachment to a person in that way. With lust, it's more of a transactional relationship. Like, we're both getting something out of this. We're going to do this thing, be intimate for whatever. Everybody has different purposes for intimacy. For whatever purpose, we're going to do this. And yeah, that's what it is. That's the extent of it, the relationship.
Yeah, for the most part, I think her saying lust is transactional stood out to me. And I think love is more of a commitment. When you're lusting after somebody, once that transaction ends, I think that's pretty much the extent of your interaction with them. And then with the love side of things, if you genuinely love that person, from my perspective, it doesn't necessarily have to be a transaction. It can be, I am existing in the same space as you right now, and that's enough for me. I see you doing good, and you doing good inspires me to do good. I think that the transaction is different. It's not a physical transaction.
It's not a physical transaction. Yeah. And I also hear that maybe lust is an easier way to avoid feelings of hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would say so. 'Cause unless things get complicated and somebody starts feeling things or both people start feeling things, I think it's easier to say, okay, we're going to do this and that's it. There are lines and boundaries, and you have an understanding of this is what it is and this is what we're going to do. Versus with love, I think it can be more complicated and, like Kay said, more of a commitment.
So sometimes commitment issues are attempts to protect yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And Kay, is that where you're coming from? Is that your experience?
Yeah, you're about to get into the vulnerable side of it. Yeah, I'm gonna share a little bit from my journal, not necessarily from the book, but recently I've just discovered about myself that it's easier to seek out physical pleasure than it is to acknowledge, you know what, maybe this isn't what I want. I'm using sex and other things to hide from the fact I think I really just need a hug or to talk to somebody and just have somebody present. It's easier to sit here and say, let's keep this physical than it is to, again, goes back to the vulnerable aspect, than to open myself up to somebody and be able and willing to receive everything that they have to give, not necessarily just their body.
And to be able and willing to receive it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why wouldn't somebody want to receive all of those good feelings from somebody?
Because on the other side of that, there's a possibility that those negative feelings are going to come with it. You open yourself up to somebody, they can take that from you. They can break your heart. That goes back to you have to be willing to feel all of the things. It's inevitable.
And is that a little bit of a learned experience? Would you both say learn to protect your heart, learn really love? Is that something that is a learned behavior from what you've seen growing up? Or is that just based on experience?
Yeah, I would definitely say probably a mix of both. I think I certainly have my childhood stuff, and I can identify things as I've gotten older. Oh, this stems from this. But also, I think going through situations as a teen, as an adult, and getting into that romantic aspect or deeper relationships with people, that I've had situations that kind of reinforced some of the fears or experiences and things that I felt as a child. So I think that those wounds, again, like, you may not know that they're not healed, and something can open those wounds up or trigger you in that way. And so I do think it becomes a space of, okay, I need to protect myself, my peace, my heart. And you do different things to protect yourself. And that sometimes means keeping people out, even if, oh, this person will be good for me. But I think it's really complicated, the human experience, and just working through things as a human.
Like you said, something's good for you, but you still push it away. You still ignore that.
Yeah, sometimes you just self-sabotage.
And sometimes go in the direction that makes you comfortable with the
Yeah.
person.
I would say Kay and I have talked a lot about that, choosing people because it's comfortable or because they are familiar.
Yeah. How good does that turn out?
You know?
Do you guys feel like you've figured out a way to stop doing that? Have you broken that cycle of just going to where you feel familiar and comfortable, even though you know it's probably not good?
I think I'm better at identifying that, okay, these are red flags and maybe I just need to not go this way. I won't say that I never do stuff that I feel like, oh, like I know how this is going to turn out. Sometimes I do stuff for the plot, but I think I'm getting to a point where I am getting older and I don't want to waste time on things that I know aren't good for me, going to benefit me in the long run. I try not to continue down that path. If I start to see that there are red flags or things that just things are triggering me and opening up wounds and it's, this probably isn't the best thing. I need something that's healthy and something that is not hurting me in this way or making me feel these things that I felt in the past.
And that works for you. That's a good step in the right direction because considering your past with your toxic relationship, you're like, I'm not perfect yet, but at least I'm starting to think about it differently.
What's that quote? They say, don't try to find comfort or something in the things that hurt you. I don't know. That's not exactly it. But running into the arms of things and situations that have left you scarred is probably not the best return to those things. So I'm trying to turn over new leaves and make better decisions for myself based on intuition and reflection and things like that.
Good. And with Kay, just the opposite is I'm just going to ask you. I'm curious about how much you're still relying on lust to protect your heart, or are you moving away from that strategy?
I think I'm moving away from it. Been in therapy for a while, and I've just been putting forward a lot of effort into working on myself and being able to identify not just the patterns that I've experienced, but why I allowed myself to continue to stay in the patterns and continue to maybe recognize that something isn't for me, but going for it anyway. And just being able to identify those things and step outside of that pattern that's where I'm at right now. Just like Janae said, just working on making better decisions.
Yeah, that's empowering. Did you bring a snippet from your poetry or something? I love to hear something.
I guess we can. I won't speak for Kay.
Yeah, I'm always down to read something.
It may take us a minute to find.
Yeah, I know I put you on the spot too, but
Yeah, let me find this one poem. Okay, I found one. I'm gonna read. Okay, this one's called A Shot Blown, A Moment Held. Your lips were close enough to kiss. I could have gently bit the bottom one and heard you softly moan for me, but I thought it best to listen to what you were saying instead. So I absorbed the words of your family saga, clung to each detail in case of a pop quiz. I'll probably forget most of it when we're over, except some random detail I'll recall 5 years from now while I'm in the middle of making out with someone I barely like. I'll stifle a laugh in the crook of their neck, press my lips against that soft spot that makes their insides tingle just long enough so that I swallow down the fact that I ever knew you. I catch myself far off into this future thought. It's so like me to fall down a rabbit hole and wonder where I've landed, or prepare for the worst. No need in hoping for the best. We blew our shot at that. But at least there's now, and there's you, with your bright eyes full of false promises. There's you, and your gorgeous smile and sinister thoughts. There's you, with the lips so close that I could bury my own in them. I'd dig myself a beautiful grave if it meant I get to be 6 feet deep inside of you.
okay.
How do you top that?
You got this.
Yeah, I have an untitled piece. I'd rearrange the stars for you if you let me. Turn the sky into a love letter, just so you never forget how much you mean to me. I plucked the moon down from the sky and placed it down in your hands if you'd let me. If I had it my way, you'd never have another dark night. If you let me, I'd stay up with you on your worst nights. I'd rub your back and let you break in my arms. I'd hold you close until you feel better again. I'd kiss you in the rain and watch the seasons change with you. If you let me, I'd be your peace. Also the reason that you don't sleep. I know I'm the one you dream about anyway.
Whoa.
Yeah, I love that one.
You know what? I can feel your artistry, the both of you, in your way. I can see how you work well together. Okay. Knowing what I know about you, I understand the way you're talking. It's like this almost this suave type of, I'm not going to really let myself be out there vulnerable, but you're also going to pull people in.
Mm.
Yeah. And like you said, Janae, you're out there. You're willing to say some stuff that maybe others are not able to say about how they're really feeling in that moment, right? So people who want to say that, they can connect with those thoughts and those feelings. So you're connecting with people in nice ways. You're pulling people in and you're relating to people and making human experiences a thing.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, guys. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm in poetry mode now. I'm just like, okay, more. Where's the stuff?
About to go find you a reading.
Serious. Spoken word. I hope you guys do some of that stuff. I don't know. We're getting close to the end here. And I just want to know if you guys have any final words that you want to share with listeners today, that you want to leave them with.
First, I want to thank you for having us and thank everybody for listening. It's been a great experience. Love promoting and just talking about real life things that people go through. The book is due to be out in February of 2026. Read it with care, read it with an open mind, and just watch the journey unfold.
Yeah, I think pretty much the same thing. And I think it's always important to say it's okay to feel things. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Where you're uncomfortable is that's where you're going to grow. And I think it's important to read the book with an open mind and just feel all the things.
Feel all the things. Keep an open mind. Thanks again. I wish you guys the best. I'm looking forward to the book. Keep doing the great work, and hopefully I get to talk to you guys again.
Yes,
All right,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Have a good day.
At Canvas Credit Union, brighter banking is always within reach. Imagine easy rewards at your fingertips and control in the palm of your hand. Convenience around the corner and impact right here in Colorado. A dedicated team by your side. And your next big thing, starting college, buying a house, or kicking off a long-awaited getaway, closer than you think. That's Canvas. That's brighter banking.
I'm so excited to tell you about Delete Me, the sponsor of this podcast. Have you ever Googled yourself? It's so frustrating that things like our name, email address, phone number, and even the list of our relatives are being sold online by data brokers. This poses a considerable threat to our privacy, especially if our personal info ends up in the hands of scammers or stalkers. I wanted to put an end to this, which is why I went to joindeleteme.com and signed up for Delete Me. Delete Me's privacy experts comb through the countless data broker websites looking for places your data shouldn't be, remove it, and send you a report on what they've done. They do this all year round, so I don't have to think about it. Since I opened my Delete Me account, I feel better knowing my info isn't easily available online to be used against me for fraud, harassment, or identity theft. You can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/protect. Go to joindeleteme.com/protect. That's joindeleteme.com/protect.